Hello friends, welcome to my garden. I know it's been a minute, but thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time, welcome to it. My name is Carol. My channel is called Just Keep Blooming. I garden in Zone 6B, Midwest Ohio, and I have been working on a journey to not only make my garden magical, but also make it a 4-season sustainable garden that feeds my friends, feeds my family, feeds my soul. So I want to show you my garden. It's been a little bit overdue. We've had nothing but rain for the past 5 days. Columbus has been experiencing a very wet spring. On average, this time of the year, by May 25th, it's Memorial Day weekend. Last time I was able to check in, it was Mother's Day. By this time, we usually have about 15 plus inches on average when it comes to rain. This year, we're already at 19, going close to 20, and we're expecting more rain next week. So the garden has been blooming. I haven't been able to get out and really do a lot of work because of the rain. So I am excited to sneak this garden tour in for you to show you all the stuff that's coming together. As you can tell, it is just blooming with color. I can't wait to share it with you. Thank you so much for coming into my journey. Let's go to the garden. Now I'm going to want to talk to you about every vegetable and every bed because I love talking about my garden, but that's not really anything that needs to happen on this video. So I'm just going to give you some of the highlights. As I've been telling you, like this side of the bed has been a lot of our greens and early spring crops, some of our frost hardy things, and they are thriving great when the apple tree didn't have its full canopy, but they're still doing great. We have been living off of this kale, and the kohlrabi is starting to come through, and you can even see where some of the cauliflower heads are starting to form. So for me, that's very exciting. I have lots of extra leeks, as you will see throughout the garden. So I've put a couple of zinnias in here. I did a small leek bed in here. And in this bed, we have a lot of the red cabbages, and you can see where the snow peas are coming up. But let me tell you about the broccoli. The broccoli has been really doing great. I took the covers off of the broccoli, but I have an experimental broccoli patch on the other side of my garden. I guess I'm just trying to like lure the, cabbage moss over there. I don't know. But they're finally starting to head up. I'm still trying to balance out when's the perfect time to head it. With broccoli, you are eating the seed head. So if you wait too long, it's going to sprout and it's going to flower and it's going to be a little tough. So you want to find that tender moment. And I'm still trying to decide on when that is. But this year, yes, we've been having broccoli in there. So at the back end of our raised beds is where you're not going to see a lot of change, but I will tell you this lettuce bed and greens bed with cilantro and Brussels sprouts and lots of lettuces and beets has been just the life of the party, as well as this beautiful sage. This sage has been planted here and comes back every year. I make starters, and this is the sage that I gift people with to put sage in their own garden. The Brussels sprouts are coming in. They are always covered um, because those cabbage moths don't play on that. In the back bed, originally I had some mustard that had gone to seed and it was doing really great with the pollinators. So after those started fading, I did another row of carrots, and I'm getting ready to put the rest of my leeks there. And in the asparagus beds, as you notice, I did put those green poles in there. I put some Kentucky Wonder Beans in here, and I've been slowly pulling out all the volunteer sunflowers and replacing those in pots throughout the garden. The asparagus still looks healthy, and by healthy I mean it's still green, it's still that vibrant green. It's getting a little bit bushy. I think it's pushing up a little bit of growth. I put some lemon basil kind of in the back, and I put a couple of those volunteer tomatoes in there, and also some beets onto the side. So I think that the bed's going to have a lot of production. But also a lot of beauty, like the green, the yellow, all the different colors of green that are happening in here. It really just warms my soul. Let's go look at some other parts of the garden. We still have not had a lot of production in this bed in terms of harvesting, but we do have a lot going on. Everything from the cabbages to the onions are all looking really healthy. I, again, have not had, I replanted that spinach, and maybe it's just past the season. Maybe I need to try something else. It just didn't do anything. It just didn't do anything. So for those out there who have had successful spinach patches, let me know. I'm determined to learn how to do it because spinach is really something I just want to grow. But I have been really happy with tatsoi. We've been pulling a lot out of there. That's been making some beautiful salads. We have more of the red cabbages over here that just look wonderful. The midnight Swiss chard has been doing really well, and I actually planted some zucchini. I can't remember, maybe it was butternut squash that I put in here. It's either butternut squash, I guess we'll know. I can't remember. I thought I had a tag. Acorn squash? I think it was acorn squash. I have coming up through here, and I put it on there so it could kind of trellis on the back of here. I have some cucumbers getting started, and to be able to put back here, like, can you feel that morning sun? This is what I love about it. Yes, it's absolutely overgrowing with borage. I don't know why the world gives you more than one borage seed, but I'm going to have to pull some of that out, maybe transplant it. Maybe I can give it to a friend. It's not always super successful transplanting, but because it is such a great pollinator and because it's such a great medicinal plant, I'm very grateful for the fact that it does grow kind of wild and reseed in my garden. So I do want to kind of just be able to enjoy that. Oh, maybe I could put it onto the side of the house. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up with the pine tree and the garden under it, the water, all the lily. We're hoping that that's going to be able to bloom. I would love to be able to attract some frogs. I did hear that I could get some tadpoles and maybe try to transplant some in my garden. I put a few hostas after I transplanted from the English garden, and I have an idea of getting more hostas, a couple of different varieties, but I don't want to buy them. I just want to get some as people start to split them out. On the other side, around by the butterfly, you can see where I cut down all the daffodils and cleaned up that area. I put some more compost and dirt down, and I planted some anemones. I think that's the proper way to say them. That's kind of a swath of like blue and white and yellow ones. I hopefully under the pine tree they will grow. And for me, that's just fine. Thank you for joining me on the first half of our garden walk. I still have so many plants that I need to give away to friends and to plant in the garden. As I slowly start putting everything in, I'm finding little pockets to throw everything in. This week has had so many challenges with rain and weather and how quickly things are starting to grow. Not only things we want to harvest, but also weeds, and just trying to make sure I don't get overwhelmed with trying to keep up with the garden as well as keep up with life. But I think the whole thing is about just not being overwhelmed and just kind of getting started and just kind of giving yourself grace for the space and just being able to sit down and enjoy the sunshine and the gifts that are being brought to you. I want to thank you so much for letting me share. I want you all to take care, and by all means, just keep blooming.